Woof. Man, look at that. So there's 350 carry with your gamer.
Yeah.
Was that 45 inches?
Yeah.
Woo, baby. Let's go. Ha ha ha. Sav. Dang. Woohoo. That's compression, people. That's why she's got that grip. And we're going to dig in to the compression chamber that is the grip. You'll see it in Mu, you'll see it in Sav, you'll see it in me, you'll see it in a lot of our students. And the students that don't have it are soon to have it, because it's an amazing difference in ball speed when you have that smash factor go up. And it all starts right here with these portable ligaments, tendons, and muscles that you wrap around that bone to connect to the bones of the body. Let's get into it. So let's start with lead hand. If I was riding a bicycle, this is basically how I would hold the bike handles, and I feel like I could do push-ups on it. So notice that lead hand, see where the heel pad is? Just like, see that? There's no air getting into that. And so all I have to do is put the thumb on top. Now it feels like I can absolutely crush this grip. So, you know, when they say you got to hold it like a bird, it is bird puree that this would produce right here. It's clamped on. So this bone is now connected to these bones here through these portable ligaments, tendons, and muscles. And this feels like an absolute compression chamber. What's really important for you to understand is that it's the forearm muscles that control the grip pressure, and that stops here at the elbow. So I can still swing freely from my shoulders and not have to worry about grip pressure. So on a scale of 1 to 10, for most of you who feel like, oh, I need to hold it very lightly, and what ends up happening is at the top of the backswing, you let go of the club. It comes out of your hands. And when you do that, it wears a big spot in there and it tears your glove. So when you feel that club moving around here, that's literally like taking a pair of shears and cutting through these muscles here, and then the radius and the ulna flap around in the wind. So this is solid. Now, you take the thumb and the grip, and you'll put that in the lifeline right there of your trail hand. So the two pads are on each side of the thumb, and then you wrap the fingers. You don't put it in the hand here. Then notice how I can't get the fingers around the grip. Everything gets loose. So I got to bring it down here to the fingers and wrap the fingers around. I usually have an overlapping grip, and I'll show you in a second that interlock is very important that you do it properly. So now I got the two pads of my hand that are going to go right on the thumb. So as it falls down to the thumb, notice how it takes the index finger and pops it away from the other fingers. I'm going to hook that on. So these two fingers here, the ring finger and the middle finger, are actually applying leverage to the index finger. And you notice how the knuckle of the index finger is on top. Now, all I got to do is bring my thumb alongside. That's why you see a lot of players on tour, this thumb is floating around. It's not really a big deal when you've got that kind of leverage hooking that index finger on. You watch Lucas Glover, who played today in the Players' Championship. So he's got an interlocking grip that's half, right? So if I go all the way in with the interlocking grip, watch what happens. I no longer have compression. That right hand is absolute trash now. There's no way I'll be able to compress the ball like this. So I got to release the interlock, bring everything in the fingers, and now notice how my index finger and my pinky are at the end. So basically the last phalange of my pinky finger is being interlocked with the index. So I'm using these two fingers here to reunite the hands. These 3 fingers are really secure on the club. These 2 fingers are very secure, and they're applying leverage to the index finger. So notice how the index finger is hooked on. So I'm not holding the club with the index finger. I'm applying pressure towards the target with the index finger. And the thumb comes alongside. So notice how airtight that is. So now I've got this incredible compression chamber. Look how I can bend that shaft forward. Notice how that hand is pushing away from the target, and the index is applying pressure towards the target. And it's actually rotational. See, my left hand is actually ready to push this way as the right hand is pushing over. So there's a beautiful, release that's about to occur post-impact. So I'm collecting the ball here, applying pressure to it, and then releasing the ball there. See that release? So that lead hand is releasing under. Notice how that lead elbow comes in and under, and that trail hand is releasing over. So if I were to do it towards you now, so I would be collecting the ball here. Look at how solid that grip is. Collecting the ball here, pressure, and releasing the ball there. See that? And then it rehinges on those anatomical snuff boxes. So these snuff boxes that I'm talking about, right here above my thumb, see that? This is where this is going to hinge. So I want to have these snuff boxes properly set up so that they can hinge together. When I interlock all the way in, my lead hand falls to the side, my trail hand falls to the side. Now I've got competing hinges going on, and what's going to end up happening is I'm going to have a collapse. So for those of you, and you see a lot of pros that have this at the top of their backswings, well, they learned that when they were kids. The ones that have these grips that are falling apart, the grips that I'm not a fan of are Colin Morikawa. He's got that, interlocking grip that goes all the way in, and that's why you see him bowing like crazy. Jordan Spieth, and that's why this lead wrist is taking a beating. Brooks Koepka, that lead wrist is taking a beating, but then that's why he had a surgery on that wrist as well. So many players on tour have had these surgeries on that lead wrist because of a grip that wasn't optimal. So the ones that have optimal grips, that are strong grips, all the strong grip players that you're going to see out there, Ryan Fox, the latest sensation, Aldrich Potgieter. So I hope I pronounced that properly. So he's got this super strong, savvy grip. And you'll see that index hooked on, and that thumb is kind of floating around. He doesn't really need the thumb because of that grip. It's so solid. So this is what's going to create this amazing compression through the ball because, you're coming through a divot. Let's say you want to peel a ball out of a divot, or you need to get through thick rough, or you need to compress that driver. Man, this needs to be super sound for you to get that kind of ball speed. So, one of the things that I take a lot of pride in, and when I meet my friends and we shake hands, my friends from high school, and it was one of my friends that always has a kind of a dead fish handshake. I always crush it, and he's always, squeaking out a tear every time he shakes my hand. And when you have this solid grip pressure, and you'll see with Mu, we have an amazing exercise that's going to really create some amazing grip pressure, but you got to know how to generate it. So the first part of this video is about the technique of that grip. Now I'm in a great position here, and if I take my grip and I put a 10 out of 10 on grip pressure, watch how smooth I can still swing. So that was a thin 7-iron. And I'm still carrying that sucker well over 185. So I'm only a couple of yards off my normal carry with it. There's 185. I do that again. So on a scale of 1 to 10 right now, my grip is about a 10. So Sav, come and see. So there's what a 10 looks like. See the blood leaving my fingers? Right? And that was crushed. That I can't compress any better. And look at this. So I'm in my 60th year on this planet. And because of this grip pressure and my smooth swing, that was 199 carry. And look at this efficiency. 1.50 on a 7-iron. It's a simulator, right? This is the most precise simulator out there. It's called the GC Hawk, the GC Quad. And I felt this incredible squeeze on that club face, and there's no way that ball was going to go offline. I knew that ball was coming back. So before we get to Mu, a really important part is as I'm coming through, I collect here, release there, and then I come to the finish, I don't want to let go. And this is so important, right? So many of you are, boom, I'm done with the ball, and then everything comes off the club. What happens, if you let go of the club over here, then the club can no longer release your anatomy, and it's very easy for the ball to start sliding off the club. And the brain, in anticipation of you letting go, is messing things up coming into impact.
For sure.
Because it's saying, oh, the ball is the target. So for you not to start defaulting to the ball all over again, it's really important that you release and you freaking hold that grip all the way to the finish. So when I'm releasing towards you, notice how that's still intact. And this is still intact. The whole grip is still together beautifully. So now we can go see Mu. We got some really important information for you on grip strength, which is going to improve on that smash factor for you. So let's go. All right, check out Mu. This, I mean, he's got jumbo grips, and you look at how strong that lead hand is. That's Pot Geeter. That's, Ryan Fox, Paul Azinger, John Daly, you name it. We have 150 of the top 200 players in the world that use that grip right there. So if I put my foot in front of Mu, you feel that compression, Mu?
Yeah.
You feel it through the index, and then what's leveraging against the index is that middle finger and ring finger.
Yeah.
And you feel like the whole right hand is leveraging against it, right?
Right. I'm able to turn it to the process.
That's it. So you're going to get this amazing, release pressure into that target. So what you see Mu doing right now with his hands is you'll see that in baseball. You see that in hockey, because that's essentially how we load a hockey stick. You need leverage from the lead hand against the trail hand to make that hockey stick bend. Go ahead and make that shaft bend, buddy.
Sure.
That's it. And that's what loads the shaft.
That's it, yeah.
So you can see how that lead hand, the cushion is right on top of that grip. Mm-hmm. And he's using an overlapping grip. You can see how that grip is very airtight. That's it. That's wonderful, Mu.
No problem.
So notice the pinky finger is latched on to that lead index finger. You can do a short overlap or a regular overlap. That's the regular overlap. And look at the other fingers right here, how they're wrapped around the grip and not wrapped around the top of the hand. So, yeah, I'm going to put my mic right next to it. Didn't get all of it?
No.
But what a flight.
Yeah.
And that's the thing too. Here's something really important for you guys. That's one thing too. Here's something really important for you guys. If you mishit the ball, if let's say the ball meets the toe here, the center of mass of the ball is going to move around the center of mass of the club, which is the center of the face.
That's right.
So that club will tend to move in your hands. If you got a solid grip, you can still compress that ball forward. So Mu's ball speed there, 196 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And you mishit that.
Yeah.
Do you see how straight that ball flew?
Yeah. 106 to the left, 107 to the left, RPMs.
Right.
Yeah.
So you probably hit that a little low and in the heel?
Yeah.
So a little low in the heel, a little gear effect is going to give him a little fade, but the stability of Mu's hands, he's one of the more accurate guys on the long drive tour, and that's the reason why. His grip is so sound and it's so compressed. Now, Mu, you've got a really important trick. Listen up. You want to improve on that grip pressure. Mu, what did you do when you were in college playing football for Queens at university? What was in every time in the gym, what was the most commonly used apparatus?
Yeah, so at school, as a receiver, we were told to improve our grip, our finger strength. We had to put our hands in a bucket of rice. So we had to expand our hands in the rice and squeeze the rice in the bucket. The resistance you experience with the rice really improved the muscular structure and joints in your hands, so that when you receive a ball that was probably coming at 80 miles per hour, you can handle that speed and kind of grasp it like
right?
a baby. Yeah, exactly.
It's like catching a bird out of midair, right?
Exactly.
So when you, and Mu explained this to me, the reason why you use a bucket and you fill it with rice, you can submerge your whole hand in the rice.
Correct.
Right up to the wrist.
That's it.
And then you expand and contract your hand.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take long before the hand burns like crazy.
No, it takes like 10 reps where you trying to expand through it, and you feel the resistance on the external muscles, and when you squeeze, you feel more inside the palm. So you're working both the antagonist and agonist muscles of the hand.
Fantastic. So if you were to do that, keep a rice bucket by the couch or by your desk, and you would do what? 3 sets
Correct.
of until it burns.
Yeah, that's right. Or
Right,
yeah, you
make
can
it
go
burn.
You can go to failure. That's it.
Go to failure.
Yeah.
And then what? You give it 2 minutes rest?
Yeah, a minute
Go to
rest.
failure again?
Yeah.
So 10 minutes a day.
Yeah.
And that grip pressure is going to be phenomenal within the month.
Yeah. So your
Right?
forearms get stronger as a result as well too.
So would you alternate days just to give it a rest?
Yeah, exactly. So those are small muscles that don't get enough stimulation. So if you were to, work it one day and then take a break and then back at it. So maximum, let's say 3 days a week.
3 days a week.
Yeah.
So do that 3 days a week and you will really significantly improve your smash factor. All right? So here's Sav, and you're going to see a real treat as far as the grip. You'll see very, very similar grip with Sav, and you'll understand the reasoning behind that strong grip. It's not for everyone. We're not saying it's for everyone, but for the vast majority of you, you're going to have major benefits with that grip. See you in a bit. You'll notice that lead hand. If I come around here, you can see that the heel pad of her hand is on top and that pinky finger is solidly wrapped around. There is no space for me to put my finger in there. So often we're able to stick a finger in there because you're not holding it properly. And you can notice how that looks like a nice, like she could punch something while having that grip in her hands. So she likes to hold it all the way to the end like that. And she will get a little bit of wear on the glove, but if you're tearing that glove, there's definitely a problem going on. So notice when she interlocks, it's a half interlock. So see the bottom here? It's not locked in all the way. So if you went all the way in, Sav, what would that look like? Right? Now put the club down and look what happens to her trail hand. Usually the club will fall in that gap right here if you go all the way in, right? Mm-hmm. So right now, let me see you take it normally. Good. So you can see how that index finger is placed right on the side of it. So if she pushes against my hand, she will feel some nice pressure from these 2 fingers right here leveraging against that index finger. So that gives her some solid compression. Notice see how the blood is leaving that her left index finger? And the whole upper hand, this part here, is leveraging against that index finger as well. So she can really apply some solid compression to that ball. So even though you have small hands, you know, you're still able to get some solid compression on that thing.
Yeah.
So if we look at her setup from down the line, see how her lead hand is facing the sky and her trail hand is underneath like that? So if we were to look at how we would hold a hammer, so get ready to hammer down on my thumb this way. So notice how her lead hand looks more neutral right now. Now put the other hand on. So you've got a very neutral hammering down grip. So both hands are facing each other and they're basically perpendicular to the ground. Now, if you were playing golf, you would hammer this way. So notice now there's Savvy's grip where she can hammer towards the target. That looks exactly like your grip. If you were going to hammer down on a nail and you want to tag it one shot into that 2x4, would you hold it like a bird?
No.
You would have a veritable compression chamber there and get that arm to swing nice and free. So you got a free swinging arm, which is not affected there. One thing that you guys need to understand is that grip pressure stops at the elbow. So if you were holding a kettlebell and you wanted to heave a very heavy kettlebell, you got to clamp onto that thing so you don't drop it.
Yeah.
But you get to still swing it very fluidly from the shoulder sockets.
For sure.
So we got that super strong grip. There it is. And man, did you hear that? There's another 300 plus yard ball
Yeah.
on command. This is what a solid grip will do. But also, if you look at the flight on that, you know, 109 miles an hour, that ball's taken off to the left and it's drawing right back. There is absolutely, she is so confident that she can release to the left of her target line, and she knows it's coming back. Yeah. Why? Because she has a grip that's going to allow that to happen. If you don't know if the ball's coming back or not, you can't swing to the left. So what does that mean? You're going to come over the top. It's automatic. If you know that if you don't know if the ball's coming back or not, and you're not sure, you're going to make sure and you're going to come over the top.
Yeah.
And then you end up pulling the shots to the right, slicing them off to the left, and you're scratching your head wondering what the heck's going on.
Yeah. You
go to our premium website, wisdomingolfpremium.com. You check out grip part 2, an important grip update. So you know how to deliver that club like Sav. And then you're going to go to another video. It's called the Goldilocks series. So that you know, hey, that's too weak, it's not coming back. That's too strong, it's coming back for sure. Somewhere in there is the one that's going to come back, but not too much. And then you're going to see draw fine tuning as well. And that'll put the cherry on the sundae as far as your ability to deliver those shots. Now, strong grip is one thing, but remember that you still need to be able to release the club, or I should say, let the club release you. So we're letting gravity release the club in the direction that we want to go. So make sure you polish up on the whole release series. Lead hand release, trail hand release, release fine tuning, important release update, snap release polish.
It's all there.
Turbocharge lead hand and trail hand release. Man, are you going to be an expert? Once you have that skill, watch out. You will get amazing compression because the ball will no longer slide off that club. And the more confidence you get with that and the more you let it go, the more you get those. That's fun, huh? When you get in a long drive competition and you know you're going to hit the grid.
Oh, yeah.
How good is it going to be? I don't know. Let's find out. And you get to let go. It's the greatest feel in golf. See you in the next one.